if you do not know how to read military time, it is currently 10:48 p.m. and it is very, very late. Just got done from our closing shift at Jersey Mike's. Spent an additional 2.5 hours closing, and I wanted to have a car convo with you all about timing. This is going to be a split car convo between the car and when we are back at home, but it is going to start here in the car, titled Car Convo, obviously. You make your own timing. A lot of people like to sit there and talk about, oh, I'm beginning to build the good habits. It's just the beginning. And I'm taking the proper steps slowly, day by day by day. And I know in due time, my goals, my dreams will come to reality. And I just don't see that anymore. I don't see the same way anymore, because I used to be that individual that would say, oh, step by step, 1% progression every single day. Until very, very recently, I went back to work and I just felt so miserable being in a place where nobody is striving for anything besides the bare minimum, and none of them care. And something about that environment, being so ambitious myself, striving to achieve so much in life and knowing I will, forced to be in an environment that no one has the same ambition or drive as you, is very, very draining. It's draining spiritually, it's draining mentally, and it's draining physically. So with going back, it hit me so hard because I realized how much I no longer wanted to live this life anymore. This life of constant repetition, of having to put on this cap daily almost, and show up to a job where my managers complain that I'm putting too many peppers on a hot sub, or too much lettuce on a sandwich. Are you serious? Are you serious? I got suspended from work for 2 days because I put too much peppers on a hot sub. Are you joking? But with all that being said, having gone back made me realize how miserable I felt in this environment. I knew I had felt miserable already. But I think there's a level of misery you must feel in order to force that change. If you're someone like me, or someone who was like me, that was on the, oh, we're taking one step better every single day, we'll get there eventually, I urge you, unless your environment is truly forcing you to make a difference and change, look around and take in everything that is around you, primarily the bad, and allow it to hurt you so much so to the point to where you have no other choice but to change. You don't want anything else but to change. Your environment has to. And the thing is, so many people won't understand. It's not about being born from a rich family. It's not about having a stable job. It's not about any of that. It's about your environment forcing you to feel so miserable, so confined within a box that society deems as correct, as the standard of your life, that you just get so fed up, so frustrated, so hurt, that you sit there, look yourself in the mirror and say there's no other choice but to change. And there's something about those young men and women, although 99% of my audience is men, that when they don't have that, when they've never had that variable where it forced them to be so hurt in their environment, and it may not stem from you having a poor background, it may stem from you being just like someone like me, although yeah, that background, but knowing your level of ambition and knowing what you're meant for, and being forced every single day by everybody you know to be put into this box of average just like everyone else. And it pains you mentally, physically, spiritually. You're pushing as hard as you can, or as hard as you think you can, and you say you are, and you're going at it daily, and you're not seeing the result, and you're failing over and over and over again, and you failed years on years on years on end to make a change, and you told yourself you'd make a change, and you didn't make the change, and you lied to yourself, and you broke your own promises to you. And every single time you said you wouldn't make the same mistake again, you did. And above all else, the person you hurt the most was you. And something about that takes something out of you. It hits you to your core, because it almost feels like a slap in your face, a slap in God's face, that the potential He gave you is just laid to waste. And who knows, maybe that is what your life is meant to be. If it is, then all I have to say to you is good luck and enjoy your life. For the kids, the young adults, and maybe even one day the future adults watching my content, to you behind the screen, and let me look at the camera and say this, to you behind the screen, I want you to truly know that no matter what the case is, you write your own story. You make your own timing. You do. And if you know you're not meant to be like everyone else, and it pains you and irks your soul, something deep inside of you, whenever you don't follow through with what you say you're going to do, if that's you, I want you to know you are on the right path. You are the ones I call anomalies. The ones that are out of this world, the ones that were never made for this world. That they were made to create an impact so great that when accomplished, only God could get the credit. You. You are that. It's part of the journey, guys. You break your own promises to yourself. You pain yourself so much, and you have to. You have to pain yourself so much until you get to the point to where you refuse to live a life like this anymore. That you won't accept anything besides what you know you were meant for. And only then you'll understand that you make your own timing. That you don't need to progress day by day, one step by one step. Of course, that progression is so important, but you can progress as fast as you want to progress, as fast as you need to progress. Because you write your own story. Everything that has happened to us has happened for a reason. Everything. And we are in the exact scenario we are in because of ourselves. We have no one to blame besides us. No one. You can clench your fist, turn toward God and curse God, but it's not even God's fault. You could curse your parents, curse your environment, but even then, it's still not your environment's fault. It's your fault and the actions you failed to partake in, and the choices and the decisions that you knew you should have made that you failed to make. And once you take full responsibility, which I believe responsibility is understanding you make your own timing, and then forcing that timing to happen. Not rushing the process, no. Don't confuse what I'm saying with rushing the process, because there are things you must go through in order to grow. There are. It's a must. It's a necessity. But when I mean rush, I don't mean speed through everything. However, with making your own timing, I mean executing so much so to the point to where you force the change to happen. You force your timing to happen. You execute and you do what you need to do over and over and over again. Without second guessing it, without doubting it, without questioning it. And you keep doing that again and again, day after day. And the harder you go, guess what? The quicker you'll arrive at your destination. Give yourself a reason to not quit. Give yourself a reason to truly make that change. Because a lot of you, and even myself, I'm guilty of this, tell ourselves something, tell ourselves it's finally time to change, and we don't. And we don't. And I don't know why the human mind works like that. It's so odd that we almost get captivated and comfortable in the pain. We get comfortable in misery. And our mind tries to find comfort in every nook and cranny of our life. When consciously we know we're miserable. The change will never happen unless you force it. You force that change, guys. You make that change. Nobody makes it for you. God can't make it for you. I can't make it for you. Your mom can't make it for you. No one can. No one can make it for you. You make that change. Want to know why? Because you're the one that executes upon it. God can give you every single opportunity in the world, but guess what? Unless you execute upon it, it means nothing. It means not a single thing. You can have whatever you want
whatever you want in this life, you can have. With the right focus, and the proper patience, and the proper execution, you can get whatever you want. It does not come overnight. It doesn't. It takes time. But guess what? That's what gives it value. As long as you could keep going and not quit, you will win in the end. You'll win in the end. You don't need to be perfect every single day. No. Just allow those days to outweigh the days where you're not so perfect, or you fall out of your routine or get distracted or whatever the case is. If you want something bad enough, excuse me, let me reframe that. If you need something bad enough, if you need it bad enough, if your environment forces you to change, forces you to grow into someone else, forces you to have no other option besides this, then I want you to know, truly, if you need this to work, let me look at the camera and say this. Truly, I tell you this. If you need this to work, if you need it more than you need to breathe, if you need it more than anything in the world, it will work. But you have to need it. You have to need it. Something has to stir your drive. I don't know what it is for you. Maybe past hurt, seeing your parents struggle, whatever the case is, your environment. Maybe it's you. Whatever the case is, find your reasoning. Find your why to keep going, to keep that spark lit. So when you do start taking steps in the right direction, that spark can go ablaze. Because it won't be a fire all the time. It won't. It's not going to be a fire all the time. Sometimes fire's going to go out. And the question with how bad you want it will arise. Because how you act when that fire is no longer lit and all you have is a little spark left. Do you keep going? When it feels like you're getting water poured on you, you've lost the majority of your flame. Do you call it quits there? Or do you go out, find some more firewood, find some more sticks, and relight that flame? As long as you don't give up, that spark will remain. As long as you keep finding fire and fuel for that spark, you can keep going. But the moment you let that spark out, the moment you quit, all of that pain and suffering of you going through finding more firewood and going through, searching through the woods for this was nothing. It was for nothing. The moment you quit, all the pain, all the hurt, all the doubt, all the worry, all the comparison was for nothing. Nothing. You went through it for nothing if you quit now. you're too far in to quit. I'm too far in to quit. We can't quit. And that's why we have to keep going. So, when you do go into that woods, looking for firewood in order to fuel your spark, make sure you come back to that spark with some firewood. Don't let that spark die. I love you all. I always say my heart is with you guys. Go out every single day. Get better. Life's gonna throw challenges at you. You're gonna feel miserable. Take that misery how you will. Complain about it. Get angry about it. And after, let's use that anger and complaint and misery as fuel to push us to the next level. It's 12:30 a.m. I have to wake up at 5. So I'm gonna take a nice nap. I will see you all in the morning.